What's up? What's up? What's up? Hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful day. Hope it's been good. Hope it's been blessed. Hope you're having fun. Hope you had a good day. Today we're reacting from a video from What Lurks Beneath. Why are National Park Rangers afraid of the deep woods? I was unaware that this was an issue. I didn't know they were afraid of deep woods, but yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and hop right into this, see what they got for us today.
In tonight's stories, I'll be sharing with you some terrifying park ranger stories submitted to me. All throughout North America, park rangers are experiencing bizarre, unexplainable phenomena. Some deem it as supernatural, others deem it as unexplainable. This first story I'm going to be sharing with you highlights just some of the mystery and phenomena happening. This story was submitted to me by a gentleman who referred to himself as Jason. Jason went on to tell me in his email that this all occurred between 2005 to 2009 in a national park that he wished and requested to remain anonymous, but informed me that it's okay to tell you that it is in the northern section of the United States. What's interesting about Jason's story is he brings forth information about a search and rescue mission where they found a body that was posed about 40 feet up in a pine tree with wounds that were physically impossible for a bear to make. But it was written down as a bear kill. After all, bears attacking and killing humans isn't necessarily new, but to write off these bizarre events as a simple bear kill, something just isn't adding up. Jason explained that for a while now, months before this even happened, him and his colleagues were hearing and experiencing strange things all around the park, from mysterious phenomena, mysterious black apparitions appearing out of the corner of their eyes, and strange lights and sounds appearing all over the park at all times of the day. But when you're on a job like that, you really just don't talk about it, or it'll come up in casual conversation with each other, but it's not something you're going to outright report to your superiors, and for good reason. And so for a while now, visitors across the park had been complaining about strange, disturbing noises, from humans screaming and yelling to strange, unexplainable animal sounds, all coming from this backcountry area of forest in the park. But when investigated by rangers and staff personnel at the park, there was no trace of anything, from tracks to any evidence of anybody being back there. It's as if these sounds simply manifested on their own and vanished when anybody would draw an ounce of curiosity to inspect what was happening. Apparently, some of Jason's closest colleagues and people whom he worked with had some strange experiences while in this small section of backwoods. Although
I'm starting
they
to believe
refused
this
to
man,
talk
Jason.
about it, and every time it was brought up, just casually, they seemed to go pale and act scared, like they knew something but were too afraid to talk about it. Now, this puzzled Jason, and keep in mind that these particular events I'm explaining now happened before the search and rescue, where the body was found posed up in a tree and assumed to be, or at least written down as, a bear kill. Other reports had come in that Jason dealt with personally, that in these backcountry sites, food and supplies were being taken, but it was easily written off because animals can thief food and supplies, and the human noises or sounds, or what was perceived to be that, could easily be written off and explained as foxes and mountain lions at nighttime. And then Jason goes on to tell of a more harrowing experience. And this was, of course, after the search and rescue find of the body. There were some personnel that were growing concerned because they believed they had a bear conditioned to human food on their hands, and it would only prove to be dangerous. However, upon venturing back further, they found what appeared to be a den of some kind, and not that of a bear. One of Jason's closest colleagues also reports strange sounds like a mechanical humming in the woods right near where this den was. And it was around this same den where he spotted strange tracks that he could not quite identify. In fact, they looked more akin to that of a goat track, but did not resemble any animal that he is familiar with. And so for the following few days to come, they would spend time hiking throughout this small valley, where this bizarre, pervasive odor of death would follow suit. And in this same very evening, where they were camping out in this small valley, they experienced a series of strange events that would occur over the course of the night. What one of them had reported as strange whispers and hushed tones right near the tent, along with some strange gurgling noises like somebody gargling on blood. And as Jason recalls, one of these park rangers ventured out beyond the reaches of his tent and the safety of the torchlight, armed with the rifle, to investigate the source of these strange noises. Now, there was some moonlight giving brief illumination to the area around him, and as he could see off into the woodline, shining and scanning with his flashlight, he didn't capture anything. But there were a few moments where he swore that he could see a very tall, skinny silhouette watching him from the tree line. A silhouette that unmistakably was not a bear in any way, shape, or form. What's also strange is the ever-pursuing odor of death in this whole entire valley. And these rangers who had made note of it noticed that any time these strange occurrences happened, whether it be sights or smells or phenomena, this odor of death would increase tenfold. And the way they explained it to Jason, who related to me, was imagine standing next to a cow carcass that had been dead for 3 to 4 days, baking in the hot sun. Enough to make you gag, but there's no visible source for this odor to be coming from, especially not as strong and as potent as this was. And so the following day, they all returned to the main portion of the camp with no signs or no evidence to further validate what the source of the noises were. This only complicated things more as everybody was so perplexed at their findings. And while everybody was creeped out, nobody was about to go ahead and point fingers at the boogeyman. You want to talk about keeping your credibility? That's not something you even hint at in a professional setting. What's also very interesting is that the same day in October, 2 hikers would end up missing around the same area where they heard those noises the previous night in that same valley. And Jason, who is now involved in a search party to try and find these 2 missing hikers, experienced a series of unexplainable events, sounds, and phenomena himself that would further validate the experiences of his 2 fellow colleagues just days before. While the 2 missing hikers were never found and are still considered several of the missing persons cases today, the experiences that Jason recalled were completely bone-chilling. And this is beside the body that was found about 40 feet propped up into a tree. It was apparently so that during one of these evenings, Jason had been chased away from his vehicle by what he described as a large, tall, bipedal figure that before breaking out of the woodline chasing after him, it was making this strange gurgling sound, the equivalent to somebody just having their throat cut or gurgling on blood. Jason claimed that this same entity was responsible for the putrid odor, but had no claims or evidence to support that this was the same entity or supernatural phenomena that had been plaguing his fellow colleagues just a few days prior when they were in the valley. He firmly stands that this was not some hallucination or that he was on drugs, but that he was thoroughly terrified by what he had experienced that night. And due to the nature of the case, he could not report it to his supervisor or his warden, so he just did what everybody else does. Talk about it amongst your colleagues who are willing to listen, and keep quiet when you're supposed to. And during the daytime, while on search for these 2 missing individuals, he had reported being stalked or followed by something he could not see. Or to put it simply, he described it as an unforeseen force following him. Jason is also a man who proudly identifies as atheist and does not believe in the paranormal or anything that goes bump in the night, so to speak, but he can't refute what happened to him and has no explanation for these bizarre set of events. And perhaps one of the most frightening things to happen, beside the person being found 40 feet up in a tree and the other bizarre occurrences that had happened, were finding human remains out in the same valley in which his 2 colleagues went and
This is Kyle. He invented One Wheel to destroy boredom.
had their own strange experiences. Once he had discovered these human remains, he didn't really tell me via email all the details, but that he followed the appropriate protocol to have the body properly taken care of, but they could not identify who the body belonged to. And there had been no reports in the general time frame of anybody gone missing, so the hiker was simply a Jane Doe. But the problem was not so much the body and the missing person who it belonged to, it was more so the condition in which the body was found in. Now, he shared with me some pretty disturbing descriptions of how the body was found, and I'm not going to share every little detail, but I will say that the body was badly mangled in a way that did not classify as a wolf, or a bear, or a mountain lion, and that the kill was hardly eaten on, but primarily just disfigured, as if something had used this person as its plaything and mangled this corpse, and that there were even bizarre bite marks taken out of it that did not fit a canine of any kind, or a bear, or a mountain lion, coyote, fox, you name it. Anything falling under the carnivorous or omnivore category, nothing matched up. Even the teeth marks, nobody could really figure out. So this was yet another case written down as simply a bear kill. And even Jason, who had found the body originally, tried his best to rationalize the find as somebody had a very misfortunate run-in with a bear, but with how badly mangled this person was, which bears do, it did not line up with the way a bear kills. I'll let you guys be the judge on this and let you guys speculate Could this have been something supernatural? Does this have any connection at all to the thing chasing Jason at night, or the experience the other two park rangers had in the valley? Or is this simply just a misidentification of an unfortunate individual being slaughtered by a bear? And those are just about all the details Jason had left me. So I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments below for this particular story of what you think happened. Is it real? Was there something truly supernatural? Or is there simply a way to rationally explain it all with critical thinking and real life evidence? Now, this next story.
Alright guys, that was pretty interesting. I don't know if I believe this man Jason, but I mean, I apologize guys, I'm so sorry about that. I don't know if I believe Jason, but people have said a lot of different things about people being in the woods, lurking, weird figures in the woods. Yeah, we've heard a lot of those stories. So I mean, if that's one thing that makes you a little nervous, you may want to stay away from there. That was pretty interesting. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.